Please start clapping and start cheering as we welcome on the first act of the Bright Club Dundee, Mr. Eddie McKean!
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm from Glasgow. I'm a Ouija apparently. Thanks for that, Andrew. And I have emblazoned myself with Dundee's famous son, Dennis the Menace. Just to, a really cheap shot at trying to ingratiate myself with you. And you never got an Asbo, I noticed. Never got an Asbo. There you go. He was a right bad bastard, but you never got an Asbo. There you go. A lot of academics come and you know, have you read my book and stuff? So I've got a book now. I've not written it, I've just bought the book. That's it. But I've got a book, and you can, if you see me after, you can read it. As long as you give it back, it's the only one I've got. So, I just want to draw your attention though to the author here. You may know in the front row, what does that say? The author? Warburton. Warburton, eh? How about that? Not only does this guy make shit hot bread, he's a fucking philosopher as well. Incredible. Of course, somebody did say to me, you know, it could be the same, it could be a different person, a different word, but I says, look, see when you can cook bread, fucking nothing you can't do. You know, philosophy, cook bread, in at all. You can do it, you can fucking do it. You know what I mean? So there you go. And funnily enough, it's philosophy really that I'm going to be dealing with tonight in terms of research, because there's a lot of stuff about research tonight, and this is all research is underpinned by philosophy, which is interesting here, because day to day you don't really get much philosophy, do you? You know, when you're walking down the street, you don't generally get, you know, babies are born, people die, war is waged, Java send out an update. These things tend to happen, and there's not really a lot of call for philosophy. I mean, I don't even think that the government has a philosophy department. Or that's not really the joke, but thanks. They're there for me, thank you. But maybe they have got a philosophy department, but they haven't quite worked out yet whether or not they exist. As you oh fuck, is that this? I mean, I know they're new to it, but for fuck's sake. Okay, I'll soldier on. But you know, in life, when there's a major crisis, whether it's in the movies, it's in real life, you never really hear the call, the president on the phone, get me a philosopher. You know, Bruce Willis. You never seen him, I'm just a philosopher in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yippee-ki-yay, Aristotle. You never really see that. Do you know what I mean? I would have loved if in Avengers Assemble there had been, I'm going somewhere, there had been a character, Intellectual. You know, and he just breezes in, alright, or getting mad invaded by these aliens and stuff. Big green guy, okay, what I want you to do, right? Get angry as you are, right? Okay, go make a distraction over there. That way, excellent, thanks very much. You with the bow and arrow, you fucking don't really do much, just on there. Right, you big guy with a hammer, right? You kind of wreak havoc, or draw them all across that way, and that's it. And that'll let me get right up to their leaders, and I will reason with them. Sorted, reason with them, so I will. I'll say your premise for an invading our planet is completely flawed, and you should leave now while you have the chance. But that doesn't work. Well then, I will use jibes and barbed witticisms. And if that doesn't work, we're fucked then. Then we'll get the guy with the hammer. So, but what is philosophy? What I love about philosophy and what it does and how it helps research is it strips back everything to the very, very bare, simple questions. It may seem simple, but it actually take a lot to answer. You know, what is reality? And I'm very interested in one of the very early attempts to work out what is reality. And that was a thing they called atomism, where they reduced reality. Reality is basically the smallest thing it can be, and that's what you start with. And everything kind of emanates from that, which was good, and I really liked that. So in that case, there are no such things as sticks, okay? There are atoms in the shape of sticks. There is no such thing as people, but there are atoms in the shape of people. And I like that, because I was up for an assault charge. Because I can't get this stick. And my defence was, look, if you look at it this way, all it is atoms hitting other atoms. Nothing really happened. But, that defence didn't work. And I ended up in atoms in the shape of a prison cell. With atoms in the shape of a cellmate. Unfortunately, he wanted to engage in atoms in the shape of jail sex. Thanks for laughing at that. And I have to say that as those atoms in the shape of a penis headed my way, I thought I could get out of it with philosophy. I thought I could distract him by maybe having the allegory of the cave and repeating Plato's allegory of the cave to him. But I couldn't really speak with my mouth full, so that didn't really work, which was unfortunate. So there are two. Somebody's having flashbacks here, and I apologise for that if that's the case. There are two main philosophy standpoints in research that most people tend to use. The first one is called the positivist, or the scientific approach, which social science, when I'm talking about social science, and we stole that from the scientists, obviously. Fuck them, we took that, we'll use that, we'll try that. And that basically says that reality is what you can see and feel with your senses, what I see, what I can measure, what I can basically comprehend. This is a microphone stand, I can put a microphone in it, it stands up, that's a microphone stand, I can determine that. Okay, now the other one, which was adopted after that or developed, was the interpretivist. Not interpretist, but interpretivist, because we're philosophers. And what that does is it says you can create your own reality. You create your own reality, and it can be different from somebody else's, and that's it. So, but that's, I'll maybe give you an example to explain that. So I got fuck all laughs there for about 30 seconds, and I'll try and make it funny. And basically, the interpretivist approach goes to the wardrobe and opens it up and goes, I've got nothing to wear. I've got nothing to wear. And it calls across the scientific approach. And it says to the scientific approach, I've got nothing to wear. And the scientific approach, using its interpretation of reality, say, well, that's funny because I can see all these fucking dresses there. And you got nothing to wear? Not a thing, nothing to wear. I can see the strain it's causing on that bar trying to hold up all the clothes that don't exist. Are you sure you've got nothing to wear? Look, no, I'm interpreting my own reality, I've got nothing to wear. I could estimate a price for these clothes, for you, a value, an empirical value for these clothes. Because some of these clothes haven't been worn, and they've still got the price tag on them. And no, I've got nothing to wear. And that's where we'll leave that argument toing and throwing until the interpretivist approach sits down in the bed and has a wee cry, and the scientific approach heads off to the pub. Now, I have been doing some research, so to understand these kind of philosophical points is really difficult for undergrads to do, and and actual reading philosophy for a certain amount of time can be quite dangerous. And I've conducted experiments on myself. Not those kind of experiments. Please, find out the gutter, please. Not those. That was another set of experiments. No, I was reading philosophy and I'd read it for 4 hours. So, and it would actually do things to me. And if I was reading the ancient Greeks, 4 hours straight, would be mild nausea and headaches. And then I'd moved on to Comte and Durkheim, and I'd read that to 4 to 6 hours. And then I couldn't tie my shoelaces or make a pot noodle. simple operations. So that heavy machinery would have been well out the window for that. And then Immanuel Kant, that's a very interesting. I read 6 hours of him, and I wanted to vote UKIP. So we'll be very, very, very careful around about Immanuel Kant. Somebody, you just don't want to fuck about with this stuff, I know. And I'd done the postmodernists, and I was basically hallucinating, to be honest with you. It was pretty dreadful. But of course, there's the two main writers in philosophy are Derrida and Foucault. And I did eventually get to understand them at university. And when I went home, my dad said to me, "So what were you studying at university today, son?" I says, "Foucault." "Oh, he must have been doing something." Anyway, you've been an absolute fantastic audience. Thanks very much. Good night. Thank you.